A little earlier, we kind of talked about Ken Dorsey and running Deshaun Watson. Dorsey, in his introductory press conference, talked about Watson running and taking hits as well.
These guys are so competitive. They want to win. Deshaun wants to win, you know, and he's going to do anything humanly possible to help this football team win games. And sometimes that's going, you know, putting your body on the line to do so. Now, what we got to do is make sure we're evaluating when we're doing those things. You know, is it first down and we're scrambling? We got a first down already. Get down, get out of bounds. You know, and save yourself the hit and those types of things. You know, those are all things that we'll look at because clearly, like this team is at a different level when he's on the field. And that's the thing that, you know, we want to do as a staff is make sure we're communicating to him and him communicating with us kind of what he's feeling, what he's seeing, and making sure we're doing, you know, everything possible to keep him healthy.
And Ashley, the thing I would say is it's an evolution process. I mean, Lamar Jackson had to learn how to not take hits and stay healthy for a season. What was your takeaway from that press conference when you listened to Ken Dorsey?
Yeah, you know, I think ultimately for me, the biggest takeaway with Ken Dorsey in general is this isn't his first trip around the block with playing or working with a quarterback like this. And I do think, you know, everyone always wants to compare Cam Newton and Josh Allen. Like, I do think broadly they're very similar to Deshaun Watson, but each of those guys is unique in his own right. And for me, ultimately, one of the biggest differences with Deshaun is how he's built. And he's smaller than Josh Allen, which I think, you know, some people might not know. So I do think you, in general, have to play him kind of differently. But I do think that's an interesting strategy, and to hear Ken Dorsey talk about it, because hey, there is some times where you just want to throw the ball away to avoid taking the sack, to avoid taking the hit. There's some times where you do want to make that physical run and play a bit more of that kamikaze sort of style that Josh Allen plays. But I do think his experience there was just my biggest takeaway, that he's somebody who already has the experience of working with the quarterback, who likes to freelance a bit more, who plays a bit more physical. And I think Deshaun Watson might be better suited for a coach like that. And obviously the Browns think that too, or they wouldn't have made that move. You know, I don't think Alex Van Pelt, the decision to move on from him, had anything to do with, oh, he did something wrong or he did something the Browns didn't like. But when I think of Alex Van Pelt and his, like, some of the best contributions he made in Cleveland, I think he is almost more well served with a project, a guy who's a bit more of a project, who is going to stay within a system a bit more, because I think of him as, oh, he's the guy who helped Baker Mayfield get his feet right, for example, right? Like, he's really good at those kind of things. But obviously a guy like Baker Mayfield is a very different quarterback than Deshaun Watson. So I think it can't hurt just to get somebody in here who has that kind of experience of working with a quarterback, who's going to be physical when they run, who he's going to help Deshaun Watson know when to hold him, know when to fold him in those situations, because he's seen all this before. So I think, to me, that's the biggest takeaway from when he talked about that at his press conference on Monday.